Welcome back to the program. If you're just joining us, this is the campaign edition of Choice 2017. From manifestos to political rallies to vote hunting, we are here to cover all that for you. And currently, Jubilee rally in Baringo is underway, and NASA also pitching camp at the coast. NASA leader Raila Odinga, together with his deputy, that is Kalonzo Musyoka, just finished addressing their supporters at Shimo Latewa. They're currently in Kilifi. We're going to bring those pictures to you live once we get them. And speaking about political rallies, one of the main areas that both NASA and Jubilee have put some emphasis on is Bomet County. Let's now listen into what some of the Jubilee leaders, as well as those from NASA, had to say in their rallies in Bomet, that is.
So, dunia hii ni ya Jubilee ama ni ya mashakani? Ya Jubilee, tunamna hiyo? Hebu nione wala wanasema ni ya Jubilee dunia hii. Ile mtu ya mashakani si anaenda nyumbani?
The minute our governor decided to go to NASA, we knew that we have won. That this team has won. So I can assure you that, you know, these are the people who are deciding. It is the people of Bomet.
You don't want me, I don't want you. What is the issue? Who said we must vote in as a government that has William Ruto? If William Ruto does not want us, where do we have where is the logic? How does this place become a Jubilee stronghold?
It is the people of Bomet. And I tell you, and I can assure you, they are not in NASA. They are in Jubilee.
Remember, we voted emotionally in 2012, in 2013. And the main reason was that William Ruto and Sang, and then Uhuru Kenyatta, were the heck. We were basically voting in this region to get them out of the heck.
Well, as much as we're going to talk about Baringo County, which is just around Bomet County, I think one of the counties that rightfully owns the title of a hotly contested county is Bomet.
It is Bomet. And you have seen the way Bomet is giving Jubilee sleepless nights. Just the other day, the president had to go back there on the pretext of they are launching a manifesto for Laboso. But in actual sense, it was the pressure is too high on Laboso because the people vote for expectation. They vote for hope. The hope they see in Isaac Ruto is much, much more than Laboso. Ruto is a prospective future either running mate or presidential candidate. So they would rather go with their Ruto than go with Laboso. And that Ruto, William can't stand it. He can't stand a scenario where his sworn opponent, Isaac Ruto, is beating his candidate, Joyce Laboso. So that is why you see Bomet is becoming a hotbed. More so, they will not just vote Isaac. They are most likely to vote Isaac together with his NASA ship.
Of course, this Chama Shinani has joined the NASA outfit. Prof, do you agree with him that it's for Ruto to lose?
They are both Ruto, so it's...
We're talking about Isaac Ruto. We're talking about Isaac Ruto, yeah.
You see, I think what's going on here is power struggle.
Yeah.
Mainly for the Kalenjin people. Isaac Ruto thinks he should be William Ruto in terms of galvanizing people. If you compare them, Isaac is older in politics.
Are you trying to say they share nothing in common apart from the name?
You know, older in politics, older in age. And so they're thinking that when Moi was retiring, some of the elders should be the ones to take over. And then this fellow comes from nowhere. He calls himself a hustler. And he hustled his way up to the top. And there were a lot of people who are very unhappy with that. And this is some of the backlash that we are getting. Beating back on William Ruto because he came from nowhere. So the establishment, the elite of the Kalenjin land, were not very happy about it. Some of the things we are seeing as a result of that, Isaac Ruto happens to be in that category. Now, and he gave a very good explanation here, that the reason he supported William is because there was something called Hague. And, you know, it was a galvanizing thing. So they galvanized to rescue William from ICC, but not to accept him. And all he's showing that he really never accepted this man And maybe the sooner he gets out of the picture, so that Isaac can now be the proper leader of the Kalenjin, the better for him.
Here we're talking about the contest between Laboso and Isaac Ruto.
But now the way it's being seen is that Laboso is by extension
It's
William.
a project of William.
Yeah, is William. You know, in the same way that Isaac Ruto could be a project of some other forces.
Actually, I was to raise that.
But they're both projects.
Let's give Jeremy a chance to react to that.
Yeah, I think what is going on in Bomet is quite interesting, and basically I would agree with Prof that this is about the power of after. This is all post 2017. That's basically what they're trying here. Isaac Ruto is trying to make a niche out of himself that, look, after 2017, I need to be the ethnic leader of the Kalenjins. That's basically what he's trying to do. While William is saying, look, I'm still the ethnic leader of the Kalenjins and you ought to listen to me. Laboso, the deputy speaker, is, you know, by coincidence within the fight, is in the mix. But the fight is basically between William Ruto and Isaac Ruto. Though, as far as the number of votes is concerned, I think I would advise NASA to look for votes somewhere else, but not at Bomet. Bomet is a done deal, and if they think they'll get much of it...
It's a done deal, you mean they're going to...
They're going to vote for Jubilee, and that is it. What they're trying to... What Isaac is trying to do is, look, as much as you'll vote for Jubilee, yes, but here I am, because 2017, we may win, and if we win and I lose, I'll be the ethnic leader in any case that the election will go. But more specifically, NASA has to win for Isaac Ruto neck to be out and be seen in the Kalenjin nation.
Do you agree that they might end up voting for Ruto and for the presidential election they're going to choose Jubilee?
That done deal thing, I can't agree with it. It is not. You know, when you want to study a people, watch them at a rally and see their reaction. Don't look at just the numbers. Don't look at the response for those who sit in front.
However few they are.
Don't look at the response of those who are either dressed in orange or red.
Yes.
Them, they have made contact with the organizers. They have made contact with a representative of the principal, so they will have to go by that. Look at the general crowd and those at the back. If they are resonating with the leaders making the speech, then you know we have votes.
How will you measure that? It's very
You just
tricky.
watch them. Watch them, the words come out. You know, there are people who have been paid them, even if you cough, their hands will be in the air. But you can study a group. I didn't remind you that once upon a time I was a teacher and I would study my audience very well. So I had given an example here once where I studied in Kitui. Kitui, we had a very distinct crowd, a crowd which half of it was in red, the other half was mixed up. The mixed up half was not responding to anything that was said here. But the ones who are in red were ecstatic about the speech that was being made by the two principals. So you could just tell that these are behaving like that because they have made contact with the organizers of this rally or the principals who are addressing them. So is Bomet. When I watched Bomet, the crowd was uniformly in cheering. They were uniform in going with the addressers. So you know definitely here there is votes for NASA compared to other places. That is how you judge a crowd.
Okay, there's something can be said at the coast. We've seen, you know, Jubilee making inroads, and it seems NASA also making very serious inroads in Bomet.
What he said applies across the board.
Yeah.
Correct.
It's not a Jubilee thing, it's not a NASA thing, and not the ODM. But in rallies, sometimes I go to rallies. Sometimes.
You do?
Sometimes. And it's not important to watch the people at the dice. And next to the dice, they're cheering.
Yes.
Because those are in uniform, anyway.
Yes.
And they are mobilized. They call it mobilization. They're mobilized. But outside there, far back, just mingling with the people there and listen to what they are saying tells you more than listen to those people over there. Now, in each of the rallies, we expect that there will be people who will be bussed. That's mobilization. They will have multiple T-shirts to change according to the speakers. You know, that happens all the time. But yes, you can gauge the mood of the crowd by responses. And you can see people, either they are disenchanted, or they are mesmerized. Now, how you gauge that, you have to be not so much about watching what the TV is showing, because we know the TV is organized.
So you're trying to say you have to be there physically?
It helps. It helps to be there to get that inner feeling, because you cannot get that inner feeling by watching TV. You can see, you can get some sense of it.
Not everyone is privileged to attend these political rallies. Anyway, Widi,
when the TV zooms to show you the whole crowd, you can get the picture.
Can you say that between NASA and Jubilee, who have managed to whip the emotions of the masses?
Definitely, it's NASA. NASA had enough weapons to use. Jubilee had so much acting against them. First of all, what they call the drought, but for me, it is lack of food. There was no drought enough to warrant people starving. There wasn't any. So there were so many things acting against them. Then the corruption that even you deny, but as you deny, more evidence keep on popping up. More evidence keep on popping up until you can't contain it anymore, it bursts. So that again. And some of the things that have happened in the near past, the collapsing bridges, those shows that NASA has been telling the people the truth on the issues they have talked about, corruption. So definitely, as of now, unless there is some miracle, unless there is some serious, not even stealing the votes, robbing the votes, because stealing again now may not work.
Jarim, of course, Jubilee also telling people from the NASA side that it's about time that they join the government and not stay in the cult.
Yeah, I think NASA has tried to whip emotions on the people. And one thing that is going to make Jubilee lose this election is what has just happened in Coast in terms of Pandanguo, Juma, and Poromoko in Lamu. So that's one, on insecurity. Two, the issue of corruption, as Owidi has pointed out. The third thing that is going to make Jubilee lose this election is their failure to adapt and really implement Article 10 of the Constitution in terms of, what really good governance and whatever it is. And also remember Article 4 too. These are things that are going to haunt Jubilee as we go forward, because currently Jubilee cannot even talk about tribalism, because look across the appointments. It's basically Kalenjin Nation, Kikuyu Nation, and these are things that they can't really come out and speak about. And of course, the TGRC report, the recommendations, they've only taken one recommendation. That was a public, how do you call it? By saying that, yes, we are sorry that this thing happened, selectively. So the TGRC report recommendation have not been implemented as we speak, only one selectively. And these are things that Jubilee itself cannot come out, and defend themselves. And the fact that the president is in power, it is normally very hard to defend yourself while in power. But it will be advantageous to the former Prime Minister, Raila Odinga, because one, the people of the mass have got no much information about him, should he have been in power. But as we speak, Jubilee is in power, it will be very hard for them to defend themselves.
Prof, it seems Jubilee has been reduced to some sort of a punching bag here. Do you agree that NASA has an upper hand?
I think they are good pugilists.
Yeah.
As of now, Jubilee, let me not even talk about Jubilee.
Yes.
As of now, you put Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga neck and neck. Uhuru has the advantage, has the upper hand. 55%. That's my estimate. There was a time when
your estimate.
That's when there's a time when it was 60. So I think it's gone down a little bit. In terms of believability, Uhuru has it. When you talk about corruption, he talks about it.
Yeah.
One thing is that he doesn't deny it. He talks about it. Yes, there is. And one time he was flabbergasted. Now, when you look at it, when the NASA team, the 6 people, are they 6 or 5? Because sometimes you don't know how many they are because they keep on changing. But you check every one of them is corruption tainted. Each one of them. And so when they say, what are these people talking about? You know, when they have so much dirt on their face. But since it's a good emotive campaign, when you are out there on the dice, on the rally, and you are dancing with one leg, the way they dance with one leg, it's entertaining. And when they are doing that, you can expect them to repeat the same thing. But when then you look closely and they are asked questions, they become confused. Okay? Because each of them, you, here, what explanation do you have? When you talk about land, when you look at each of them, this land here, this land which you have, how did you get it? You know, and you here, that deal over there, what are you doing with it?
So trying to say corruption is
the
both-sided.
corruption is, it is a big issue, but it is not one-sided.
It's on both sides.
It's on both sides. So, and the voters are not so gullible as to buy the noise about corruption.
So you're saying they're going for the lesser evil or what?
But Yusuf,
Very briefly,
you know the governor, I mean, the prof is not getting it
You have
right.
a new title, you're a governor.
Maybe somebody will elect me a governor.
You know, about corruption, Jubilee has the government under its feet.
Yes.
If Jubilee thought Raila Odinga is corrupt, and Jubilee is the one that is in government that can initiate any prosecution for Raila, any prosecution for Kalonzo, or whoever else they claim is also corrupt. You know, even being outside the government, NASA still provides the way forward to those people they think are corrupt. Yet they don't even have the instruments of power. They say, okay, Waiguru is corrupt, let her resign. So-and-so is corrupt, let her go home. So-and-so is corrupt, let her be prosecuted. But if they had the instrument of power, they would not even be talking. You would be seeing those people being investigated and taken to court. But Jubilee, which has power, cannot go again appealing to the public to tell them there is corruption in Kenya, what do we do about it? The buck stops with the president. It is him to initiate the prosecution of these people they claim to be corrupt. Otherwise, the claim is just for public consumption.
So saying NASA is also corrupt is not a solution. Jeremy, you'll react to that shortly. But for now, the conversation is still on here on the campaign edition of Choice 2017. We'll take a very short break. But remember, President Uhuru Kenyatta and his Jubilee Brigade, they have a rally in Baringo. It's currently underway. NASA leader Raila Odinga and his brigade are also at the coast. We're going to bring those pictures to you live once we get them. And we'll take a very short break. But when we come back, we're going to talk more about Baringo politics, so don't go too far.
This is KTN News.